I read this thing, right, online, so it must be true, where everyone who's under the age of 30 is gonna live till 160. Like you look tired now. 160. I don't want to be sat in a flat, leaking, liver spotted. Your ears and nose, they never stop growing. I'm gonna be sat there looking like I work at bloody Gringotts Bank, just like, And I think if I get to 160, I'm ending it. I don't know how you do it. What are you gonna do? Sort of suffocate yourself with a bag for life? I reckon the best way, and maybe like a toaster in a bath situation, but it'd be one of those like sit-down baths with a chair and a door, and then you have to wait for it all to fill up. You put in a bit of matey for a last bit of luxury, and then you go, oh shit, I forgot the toaster, and then you have to wait for it all to drain. You open the door, you go out onto the landing, down a stair lift, into the kitchen, you go, what the bloody hell have I come in here for? It's never gonna happen. I'm trying to do more nice things, though. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I've never really done anything with my life. I did a thing recently. I went to go and give blood for the first time. Has anyone ever done that? It's just one woman like, yeah, I did it today. It's amazing, but I thought you did it in like a hospital or like a sanitised medical centre. You don't. You do it in like a rugby club or like a MELTDOWN church, right? I turned up to this bingo hall near my nan's house, right? I was greeted by the second moodiest person I've ever seen in my life. It was a woman called Linda. Like, her name badge said Jean, but she looked like a Linda. You know what I mean? Like short bob, gelled fringe, good at darts. She weren't happy. I turned up, she goes, have you got an appointment? And I went, no. And she goes, have you filled out a form? And I went, no. And then she threw this form at me, and as I'm walking off, she goes, thank you very much for giving blood. We really appreciate it. Giving blood is the greatest gift anyone could ever receive. And I'm thinking, Linda's never been given a slow cooker. So, take this form, I start filling it out. I had to use this woman's eyeliner because Linda wouldn't lend me a pen. Just filling it all out. And as I said, the only reason I went to go and give blood is make myself feel like I'd done something with my life. And instead, I'm faced with all these very serious adult questions. It was things like, have you ever been to Africa? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a man? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a prostitute? And I thought, I've done fucking nothing with my life. Nothing. Have you injected drugs? Have you smoked drugs? Have you had any treatments in the last 6 months? I panicked. I went, oh, well, me and my mum have had facials off Groupon. Not the right answer. Weirdest question, are you HIV positive? I was like, what? Like, no, like if anything, I'm against it. And then they took me off into this room, and there's all these sort of like Sharons and Johns lay on beds with sort of needles in their arms. Like, it looked like a spa day for smackheads. They put a belt round my arm, not even a nice belt. They spanked it a bit, they told me to relax, and then they whipped out the biggest flipping needle I've ever seen in my life, and I just fainted. Completely fainted. I can hear all these muffled voices, and then I can hear Linda's bellowing voice just going, I knew he'd be a fainter. I'm like... By the time I'd come around, all these people are trying to help me out, and Linda just parted them. And her way of trying to make me feel better, her way of trying to make me feel like a proper grown-up was going, would you like a glass of orange juice and a biscuit? I was like, no, Linda, I want to have sex with an African gay man for money. That's what I want to bloody do.
Some crazy people and with some crazy ideologies. One of the craziest people I met, and the funniest, were these guys called the Black Israelites. If you don't know the Black Israelites, right, it's a group of black dudes in New York, right? And they think the black man's the original Jew, right? They think the white man's the devil. I mean, look, you know, they have a point, right? And they think Jesus, right, is coming back to put white people in slavery, right? Which, look, I think is messed up. Because I think white people would make terrible slaves. Do you understand? You know, you whip them once, they run to the manager. You know, you try and give them bread and water. Is it gluten-free? No. It's not gluten-free. I know some old white woman making my dinner and stuff like, Margaret, if you make me another shepherd's pie, I'm gonna sell your ass. Stand on his porch. Start selling people. I don't know. I get called a lot of stuff now. Especially with the internet, I get called tons of stuff. I get called racist words, and I get called racist for making jokes about white people. I just want to say my mom's white. I have one at home. She's fine. I have one. I have no issues with white people, love white people, right? But everyone calls me mad things. And I'll be honest with you, when you get called a lot of stuff, you have to have like thick skin. You can't let it bother you, because it'll just get you down if you always listen to that stuff. And it's never bothered me, except for one time. Someone said something about me, and it just really basically, someone called me middle class, and it just really... I threw my avocado on the floor. I was perturbed. I was like, mother, take this away. I can't finish this avocado. Man. If you don't know Ilford, it's in between East London. Don't you cheer Ilford, goddammit, you hooligan. Ilford is horrible. It's in between East London and hell. That's where Ilford is. Don't want to go Ilford, right? It's that weird thing. It's like you work hard and then people think they can take away your identity from you. And that's like a weird point. It's like you can't be working class because you've worked hard. You get to play lovely gigs like this. You can't be what you are. And the thing is, like, I am working class in my heart, but there's a conflict. My brain says different sometimes. You know, like sometimes my friends will call me from prison. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. They'll call me up and they'll be like, yo, Jamali, you need to start repping for the mandem. And I go, you know what? I need to start repping for the mandem. They say, you need to start saying free the mandem. I'm like, you know what? I need to start saying free the mandem. And that's in my heart. I believe that. We should free the mandem. But then my brain goes, yes, Jamali. But now you have stuff they want to steal. If they've completed the course, maybe. I don't know. Free them up if they've, if they've repented. I don't know. If they ring me up, they'll be like, yo, say free Ginger J. Free Ginger J. Say free Worm. Is Worm still locked up? You better free him. Say free Killer. Nah, I don't know about Killer, man. I'm not saying we should never free Killer, just don't free him where I live. Because I live in a nice gentrified area now, just what I'm saying. So it's like, and I'm angry at gentrification, but it's hard because it's delicious. I'm drinking my latte going, oh, these hipsters, you know? Like, so yeah, free hit Killer, but just not where I live, not in my community. Because gentrification is a weird one, because does anyone remember when London was shit? Like, Hammersmith was shit. None of you would have been able to be here. It was that bad. It was never Peckham shit. Peckham was shit. I go as far as Bethnal Green and look at Peckham through a telescope. That's as far as I go. But gentrification is a weird one because can we disagree that you see like middle-class hipsters that moved to the ghetto pre-gentrification are some of the most bravest people in the world? Only a hipster can go to the hood and go, no, I see potential. Seriously,
I recently got one of those virtual reality sets into the house, you know, with the mask and the whole... How many of you have done this yet? 1, 2, 7. It's amazing. It's genuinely stunning to me how few people have had a go on this, like whatever. It's genuinely stunning. You put the mask on your head, it's got 2 screens, independent screens, so therefore everywhere you move, it's like perfectly realistic. You put the headphones in, it's like completely immersive. You're in a 360 degree in all direction, totally artificial world. It's genuinely stunning. I think it's going to change gaming. I think it's going to change movies. It is going to revolutionize burglary. It's just, you break into a house and somebody has that on their face, Jesus, relax, chill out, you've got an hour. They're not going to know you're there. There's no rush, you can choose what you want. I like that, but that'll work well in the hall. It's a different game, right? And the weird thing is, as you saw there, not everyone's having a go at this. This is a genuinely transformative entertainment technology, and not everyone is using VR, right? And one of the quiet reasons that no one's talking about it, the reason that people aren't using VR is because nobody's using it to watch porn. It seems like a weird thing to do, but in the kind of history of nerdy kind of things, porn is surprisingly important for getting new technology accepted. Porn is the reason why Blu-ray beat the other kind of special DVD in their race a few years ago. Porn is the reason that sometimes video streaming software beat other kinds of video streaming software. The stuff that gets used for porn has a place immediately in the market, right? And nobody is using VR for porn, right? And I'm not naive, right? I know that men are visual creatures, but I can kind of see, you know, no man, while actually making love, has ever there been going, oh my God, this is incredible. Oh my God, honey, this is amazing. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Let me just have a quick look around the flat. Oh, that's fantastic, Jim. Oh, that's amazing. Jesus, huge. Is that Cornissing original now, or did you have it on a date? But the main reason that people aren't using VR for porn is because you cannot be entirely sure that she's out for the afternoon. And I mean 100% sure, because the stakes are really high. You do not look good in this situation. You do not need your loved one going, oh, I've left my credit card, I better go back in. Ah! What is this you're doing to yourself? Yes, I was bringing the kids to my mother's house, but the little one fell in, we've had to come home. But Jesus, this is what greets us. The nightmare is you finish the wank of the century, you take off the mask, and there are 3 police officers just staring at you. Going, do you have no idea what's been happening for the last while? Somebody broke into your house. They were spotted, we were called, there's been a standoff. You've been a hostage for 45 minutes. We've had to close off your road. Sky News have a helicopter slowly circling overhead. Your wife is outside on a megaphone going, "Stay strong, John, stay strong." And all the time, we've been watching you on the thermal imaging. Just battering away at yourself.
I am quite impressed at the number of sports that have been adapted for disabled people, though. It's nice that they are so inclusive these days. I reckon we should go further and adapt versions of classic board games as well. You could play a very special edition of Guess Who, where all the characters had disabilities. No one would ever win, because everyone would be too afraid to describe their character in case they caused offense. The questions would be fun as well. Is your person incontinent? Does your person have crayon around his mouth? Does your person have trouble speaking properly? Is your person Danny Dyer? You could also have a disabled version of Monopoly, where every space is just free parking. Speaking from the personal experience of a bloke with a disability, I think that the dating game is much harder for people like myself. I've tried speed dating. That didn't work. By the time I've typed out a sentence, it's time to move on to the next person. And I'm not looking for sympathy either. I'm just using emotional blackmail to try to get someone to sleep with me. I'll be in the bar afterwards, if any of you are interested. Yes, even you, sir. One of the main problems I have with dating is that I find it hard to approach girls in the traditional sense. I don't have the ability to chat up a woman. When I meet a girl, I have to type them up. And that just sounds wrong. You type up your dissertation, you type up your will, and you type up your letter to your grandma. There's nothing sexy about being typed up. Even if there was, when you're typing excitedly to a woman, and accidentally spell something wrong, autocorrect is a ducking nightmare. For example, I once asked a girl if she had a pen I could borrow, so I could write down her number. I didn't expect it to say, "Can I borrow your penis?" So you can imagine my surprise when she pulled it out right in front of me. It's at this point in my set when I like to remind people that I'm not related to Stephen Hawking in any way. In fact, the closest I have ever come to being Hawking is when I went to see The Theory of Everything at the cinema. It's the movie about Stephen Hawking and his life. I didn't go to watch it though. I just went so that I could sit at the back, say random sentences on my iPad, and fuck with the rest of the audience.
A lot of people often ask what made me get into stand-up comedy. I always say my mum's side, that's the funny side. But it more or less started with school. When I was in school, I was dyslexic. I can hear the thoughts in the room right now. Oh my God, he's dyslexic. He can't play Scrabble. Oh my gosh. I think where comedy started for me, because I was a bit of a class clown, you know, and the thing is when you're dyslexic, it's not that you can't read or you can't write. For every child, it's always different. For myself, it was always my concentration would affect my education. Like, let's say, for example, I'm talking, let's say me and you are friends, bro. We're not being destructive, though, to the class. But everybody in this room remembers that one particular old teacher. She's like 172 or some stuff like that, yeah? And do you remember when she'd catch you talking and make a big meal out of it? So we're having a small conversation, then she'd notice me, particularly me, talking, ghastly. We've got a conversation over here. Yes, children, we've got a conversation over here. No, stand up. No, you can stand up. Do you remember someone would try and defend it for you? Actually, do you remember what you actually say to her as a reply? But miss, I'm not even doing anything. Do you remember when teachers just lost it for a little bit? That's right, you're doing nothing. Now stand up. Someone would try and defend it for you in your honor, in your class.
Now, miss, you know what? Man wasn't even talking, you know. I was sitting right there. I'm sweating. I feel like you're just segregating him because he's dyslexic. Why are you doing this, miss?
Do you remember when your teacher just didn't care anymore? She's been there so long, she didn't care. Do you remember your teacher's like, what? You can fuck off! Do you remember the first time your teacher swore? Do you remember that kid? He couldn't believe it. What, you're swearing at me? No, I don't care. I'm telling my mum. What do you mean about me? I don't care about. I'm going to tell Austin. What do you mean me, yeah? Tell the whole me. This teacher didn't care. And you, stand up. So I stood in front of the whole class. You know, I was in a science lesson. So one teacher said to me, so Mr. Mo, Mr. Mo, being as you like to talk. No, because you like to talk. You ever seen when teachers get so passive-aggressive, they laugh, but nothing's funny? Mr. Mo, no, you like to talk. You think it's MSN or something like this, don't you? Yes. So, being as you like to talk, yeah, you can tell everybody in this lesson, yes? Yeah, no, because you're a talker. You're going to be a teacher one day, aren't you? You can tell everybody in this lesson what osmosis is. Huh? What is osmosis? So I was like, osmosis. So I was like, well, osmosis is actually the process where a high concentration goes into a low concentration. A bit like if I put potatoes in water, they expand with weight and density. Anyway, what I was saying before getting really interrupted, basically like... This old teacher lost her mind. Do you remember the teacher got so angry they start shaking, but they shake so much their turkey neck would shake at the same time? Do you remember that teacher? How dare you, in my lesson, on the day of the Sabbath? The Sabbath? It's Orange Wednesdays. What's this Sabbath thing about? What's that? How can I get involved with that stuff? Do you know what? Get out right now. You can get out right now. So I never forget, you know, I'm walking outside the lesson, you know, spudding some of the guys in the way. Don't know. Oh, do you know what? I've had enough of being treated like this. I've had enough of this, because right now, I'm in year 11. Soon I'm going to leave. I'll be in college, earning some real money, making some EMA. I've had enough of being treated like this. Yeah? And I said to my teacher, I said, you know what, miss? I'd actually be learning if you was doing your job, which should be teaching. The whole class simultaneously went, oh my dear.
I said, what do you want? He goes, I want a cat. And I said, a cat? Nah, I'm not gonna buy you a cat. No one gets a pet for Christmas. And you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. There was a mouse, a little mouse. It came into the house and the girlfriend, she saw it, she goes, ah, what's he doing in here? What's he doing in here? We've got a mortgage. Like, that's got to do with anything. Like, all the mice is outside there. It's like, hold on, guys, before we go in there, we need to see if this is rental accommodation first. Yo, fam, put that cheese down. We haven't seen the tenancy agreements yet. It might be a hoax, right? It don't work that way. So she was like, Marlon, we need a cat. I said, I don't want one. She said, Marlon, we need a cat. So we compromised and we got one. So we went to this place. Where they hold all of the cats in the world. And I walked in there, I was like, I want a cat. And the lady said, that's not how it works, sir. I said, please. She said, no, what it is, we need to interview you to see if you're fit to have a cat. And I started panicking. At this point, I said, listen, right, lady, right, listen, right, between me and you, I've got a son. I said, human being, 8 years old, and he's not dead. And she looked at me, she was like, yeah, you can have a cat. So, she brought us up the stairs, man. When she brought us up the stairs, I've never seen so much cats before in my life. There was more cats than people in this room right now, right, and they were there, different shapes, different sizes. And my girlfriend, she got drawn to one cat, which was like blue and grey. I've never seen a cat like this before, a blue and grey cat, and his whiskers were out, and the tail was up, and she walked over to the cubicle where the little cat was, and she put her hand right up against it, and the cat came along, and he put his paw there, and it was like they were touching. And she was like, I want that cat. And the lady said, no. She said, why? She said, well, that cat, it can't live with children. And my girlfriend looked at me like to say, fuck the kid. I want that cat. The lady said, no, you can't have that cat, but we've got some cats that is suitable for you, but they're in this corner over here, and she walked us into this corner, ladies and gentlemen, and all of the cats in this area here were black cats. Yes, and my paranoia, that went off straight away. I was like, hold on a minute, we can't have that cat over there, but we can have any of these ones. I've got to fight racism in the real world, but also in the feline world as well. This is bloody ridiculous. And she said, this one's called Denzel. And this is Barack and Michelle, right? They come. Marlon, you've lost your mind, you know. You don't want a cat. Let's just get any of them. So, we got Beyonce. We got.
There's other younger people in the room, right? You know what I mean. You have only ever known a time in your life when you're trying not to get pregnant or trying not to get somebody else pregnant. And I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but on both accounts, I fucking smashed it. I think it comes down to skill set at the end of the day, doesn't it? People are just good at different things. Some people are good at the violin. Some people are good at parallel parking. I was very good at taking the pill. Every day. Honestly, I used to think I was so good at taking the pill, I deserved a reward. Arguably, there was a reward. It was the reward of not having to watch Peppa Pig or cleaning up another human's shit. Tell you what I don't understand, right, is women who are on the pill and forget to take it. Don't get that, because don't get me wrong, I forget things. I forget my keys, my wallet, the fact I'm married. Sure! But forgetting to take something that can prevent you from creating a human that could one day say, turn the machines off, is what she would have wanted. I'm going to remember that one, thank you. Obviously does happen though, women forget to take the pill, they get knocked up. Happened to a girl I used to work with actually, when I used to work in an office, right? And we were chatting about it one day. She was so blasé, we're in the kitchen. She's just standing there rubbing her belly like, well, the thing is, I've just got really bad memory. I was thinking, that's funny, because every day without fail, you remember to steal my milk. Maybe if you'd strapped your packet of microgynon to my semi-skimmed, Stephen in accounts wouldn't be telling everyone how you trapped him. But I think the reason I was always very good at remembering to take the pill, because I've been on it for so long. I was on it since I was about 16. And the reason I started taking it was because I was going out with my first boyfriend, Kevin Sutherland. A boom, chicka, wow, wow. He was quite the catch. He had a Peugeot 106 and a tattoo of Bart Simpson, which I thought showed a great joie de vivre. And things were going very well between Kevin and I. We had matching bracelets from Argos, so you can tell how serious we were. And we'd agreed that we were going to do it for the first time, right? So I was like, right, I put myself on the pill because my first time is going to be really special. My first time is going to be just like in the movies. So the big day arrived, and Kevin, bless him, he made such an effort for everything to be really perfect. Like, he paid his little brother to leave the room. To this day, the most romantic thing a man has ever done for me. And he made a mix CD of all of our favourite romantic songs. You know, like Boom, 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 Let Me Hear You Say Wayo. And as we lay down on his single bed, with his Liverpool FC duvet cover on it, the scent of Lynx Africa heavy in the air. And as Kevin took my virginity so beautifully, and gently, and quickly, from behind, I remember thinking, wow, just like in the movies. Obviously, it's quite difficult to make eye contact in that position, isn't it? Almost felt like I lost my virginity to Stephen Gerrard. I'll never walk alone. I never will.
You know, when I found out that I was going to do this gig, I immediately put together a message and I pinged it out on our family WhatsApp group to my husband and my children, because that is the kind of rock and roll comic I am. And my son, my teenage son, wrote back to me at once, and his message said, "Thug life chose you, brah." And I was like, oh shit, my child has joined a gang. I mean, what kind of language is this? Thug and bra, it had 2 R's, but he's a terrible speller. And I was like, oh no. And the other thing is I thought, this message is not for me. This idiot has sent me a message by mistake, which is for a gang member. What if the next message is something much worse? And that really bothered me because, well, this was my moment. I am going to Apollo. Like, if I'm going to find out you're a criminal, can we do it next month? So I wrote back to him in all caps, because as a good Indian mother, I mainly shout at my children. I wrote back, "This is your mom." And he wrote back, "I know, gigging like a boss." Thank you. A boss. Yeah, B-A-W-S-E, boss. And also, please do remember as you listen to the rest of my set this evening that I didn't choose it, but the thug life chose me. That's right. So I have kids. Of course, you love your kids, and it's difficult to raise them. Small kids are very easy, I find. The biggest downside of having a very small child is they are very boring. Yeah, they want to show you they love you by talking to you all the time, but everything they know, you already know. I mean, literally zero value add in any of those conversations. But you do it anyway because they're your kids, you know? And you know what people say, small kids, small problems, big kids, bigger problems. And the reason is that as your kids get older, you have to discipline them properly. And I find this very stressful because I'm born and raised in India. So what I consider robust, healthy, high-quality parental discipline is frowned upon in this part of the world. That's not true. It's illegal. I know because I have checked. And I want to have really well-behaved kids, but that is no use to me if I am in jail. So I had to learn what you guys do here, and the big thing here is teach your kids about action and consequence using a multitude of techniques. So you have something called star chart. You know what star chart is? Yeah, no, let me tell you, sir. Star chart is you find something vaguely not negative that your child possibly might be able to do and then work it into the conversation and give them a star. Thank you for not kicking me in the face today. Here's a star. And then the other one, action and consequence, naughty step. You've been terribly behaved. Kindly go relax on the staircase.
I am what you call in show business a triple threat. I do comedy, and I do music, and I will cut you. Just joking, I probably won't. So it's so fantastic to be here today. I will be doing a little bit of music, so if you're a fan of NWA or Snoop Doggy Dogg, then I apologise. I'll be about 3 minutes. So this first song, this is about travelling on a train. Could you give me a cheer, Apollo, if you've ever been on a train before? About half. Okay, great. Lovely. Well, the half of you who cheered, that means you are my target demographic. Congratulations. So I'm going to sing this song. This is about the worst thing any of us can ever encounter on a train journey. Just before I sing it, I have had some problems at previous gigs, actually, so I just want to make something crystal clear. If you listen carefully, I'm not even saying the word Hindu. Just listen harder. Hindu on a train. Hindu on a train. Cowboy hats and penis cakes. Neck tattoos and big L plates. And voices like a foghorn in a drain. Hindu on a train. Groping every passing male. I suspect you've been to jail. And God willing, you might all go again. And although I have so many things to say to you, I'm aware that there are 6 of you, and all of you have had more fights than me. I've never glassed someone, but I do know how. Perhaps I'll glass you now. Hindu on a train. You brought your own speakers too, brilliant. To belt out Calvin Harris tunes. I mean, the maid of honor's clearly on cocaine. Hindu on a train. You see me staring and you threaten me. Then drunkenly you all set on me, and with a dick-shaped bottle take your aim. If you only knew, we're not so different, me and you. Just 3 months ago, my friends Hindu, we got drunk and we pretty much hijacked a plane. We were worse than you. We went down on all the crew. Mostly reluctant gay men, some women too. We got thrown out of Spain. You see, we're all the same, but you're not listening, you're bashing out my brain. Hindu on a train. to a comedian. Did you know John Richardson? Oh, yeah. Oh, did you know he is? Do you know, because I'm going on tour, my management company, they took a Facebook advert out and someone said, don't read the comments. So I did. There was just one that bothered me, and this guy had put, without trying to be too crude, how many has she had to get the career she's got? I mean, the answer's one, but... That's weird to applause that, isn't it? It's only weird for my granddad who's watching. That's not weird. You've made that weird for an 87-year-old. Anyway, but the thing, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I've started to do a bit of telly now, and I'm in this weird stage where I'm getting recognised, but I'm not used to it yet. And I walked in a pub last night, and there was a woman staring at me, and I thought, what are you fucking looking at? And then I realised, oh, it's me. I did, you know Michael McIntyre's The Wheel? Have you seen it? The game show? I lost someone £98,000. No. If you've seen the show, you know they go back down in the ground. When he went down, he turned to me and said, I've had a lovely day, thank you. That would have slapped me. We're both vegan now. I'm a vegan that likes steak for the iron, and John's a vegan when he's interviewed on TV. It's a weird life for him, though, you know. As he's seen it through his eyes, the situations we're getting for. Because he's been on TV 10 years. We went and did this gig, you know, in a school. And then we parked up, and he turned to me and he said, I've got to go. And I was like, oh, all right then, just wait till you get in. He was like, I've got to go now. And he didn't let me get out. He got on the back seat, and luckily we had a bucket because we've been to Seaside. We've got blacked out windows. And I got out, and there was 2 of his fans waiting for him. And they said, we've come all the way from Rotherham to see John. They said, where is he? I said, he's shitting in a bucket in the back of the car. And they said at the same time, we'll wait. But we're both vegan. And then when we go out for a nice meal, I'll order the steak for the iron. And he'll order butternut squash. And then he'll be looking at my steak and he's not listening to what I'm saying. And so what I do right at the end, I go, oh, I can't eat that last bit. Oh, what a waste, like that. And then we just swap the plates round and it's all in silence. And he eats this bit of steak, and the look on his face after he's eaten it is like, you know those Facebook adverts that go viral of the deaf baby when it gets a hearing aid? And here's its mother talk. That's what it's like.
All of the parenting stresses me out. All of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh no, weak. And names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion. Those virtue names is a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Sacking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. You'd be like, oh, come on, Grace. Do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought of that. Could end up an estate agent now, isn't he? He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's not funny. My child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx, where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school. And I was late, and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, you know, voice. So I had to arrange my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today, Frank stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom. That's not ideal, is it? It's very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, this is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's... I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. It's not like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
We need to bring back a sense of consequences for our actions. In this world, there are no more consequences for actions, yeah? And what I'm talking about, if there's no consequences in this life, what we need to do is bring back to Britain a simple sense of hell. The idea, if we screw up in this life, right, we will burn in sulphur for all eternity in the next life. Now, this is quite a tough sell, right? You don't like that idea, do you? Right, but hear me out, this is a good idea. We got any Christians present? I need your assistance. Any Christian people here this evening? Yeah, in the pink shirt. What's your name, son? Josh. Fantastic. You a Christian? So you understand the idea of redemption, eternity, yeah? Resurrection, eternity in particular. And I do too. I understand the notion of eternity because I went to church on Sunday. Let me tell you this, that service went on forever. If it took me an hour to open a bottle of wine, I'd be drummed out of business. Now, the point is this. How long does it take to own a packet of crisps? Get on with it. Now, we need to bring back... Now, the problem with the idea of hell is no one's frightened of it. Now, I'm going to describe hell for you now, and none of you are going to bat an eyelid, right? And while your body's boiling mouldering in the grave, we'll take your soul and boil it in boiling oil for 1,000 millennium. Then after that, 2 sulphurous demons, emissaries of Satan himself, will come along, pull out your kidneys and set fire to them on the red-hot coals of hell itself. Then after this, another demon will come along, pull out your eyeballs, stick them on a red-hot poker, burn them on the hot coals of hell, and stick them up your arsehole, and they'll come out your own mouth with this shit on it. And this will go on forever. So you're not bothered by that, are you? In fact, most of you are laughing at it, huh? In fact, most of us, being British, are thinking, well, come on then! Call yourself the devil! And that's the interesting thing about hell, isn't it? When you describe it, when someone describes hell, it tells you everything you need to know about that person, right? And what he's like and what his people are like. And I describe hell then in a normal British accent, which tells you that we, the British, are stoic, tough people who could take absolutely bloody anything. Right? And that's the interesting thing about hell. It tells you about the people telling you about it. Hell, in a French accent, for instance, sounds like a recipe. Right? And while the body is lying down and the worms inside the flesh, we take out the soul and place it in very hot oil for a long time. Then, once it is tender, 2 demons come together at once, remove the kidneys and place them on the hot coals with a little white wine vinegar, some sea salt, and some rosemary, and cook them till they're brown on the outside, but still pink in the middle. Then after this, we take the eyeballs, place them on the hot coals, cook them till they're crunchy on the outside, runny in the middle, on the hot poker, stick them up the arse, they come out the mouth with the shit on. It is delicious. Absolutely delicious. Hey, you see? Perverts! Perverts, basically, yeah? Hell. Hell in a Dutch accent sounds like a pretty good stag do, doesn't it? Hey, and while your body is lying down, we'll take you to the hottest place you can imagine. Imagine the hottest place you can go, yeah? Now go even hotter. And 2 demons will come together and rub oil all over your body. 2 demons together. 2 demons together at once, and then you will take out your kidneys. Oh, your hot kidneys. Your hot kidneys. And place the kidneys in a hot place and cook the kidneys till they're hard, until your kidneys are hard. And then take out your eyeballs and stick them in your bum hole. And this will cost you 45 euros. Hey, are you ready? Sounds like an agreeable weekend.
I read this thing, right, online, so it must be true, where everyone who's under the age of 30 is going to live till 160. Like, you look tired now. 160! I don't want to be sat in a flat, leaking, liver spotted. Your ears and nose, they never stop growing. I'm going to be sat there looking like I work at bloody Gringotts Bank, just like, And I think if I get to 160, I'm ending it. I don't know how you do it. What are you going to do? Sort of suffocate yourself with a bag for life? I reckon the best way, and maybe like a toaster in a bath situation, but it'd be one of those like sit-down baths with a chair and a door, and then you have to wait for it all to fill up. You put in a bit of matey for a last bit of luxury, and then you go, oh shit, I forgot the toaster, and then you have to wait for it all to drain. You open the door, you go out onto the landing, down a stair lift, into the kitchen, you go, what the bloody hell have I come in here for? It's never going to happen. I'm trying to do more nice things, though. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I've never really done anything with my life. I did a thing recently. I went to go and give blood for the first time. Has anyone ever done that? It's just one woman like, yeah, I did it today. It's amazing, but I thought you did it in like a hospital or like a sanitised medical centre. You don't. You do it in like a rugby club or like a MELTDOWN church, right? I turned up to this bingo hall near my nan's house, right? I was greeted by the second moodiest person I've ever seen in my life. It was a woman called Linda. Like, her name badge said Jean, but she looked like a Linda. Do you know what I mean? Like short bob, gelled fringe, good at darts. She weren't happy. She weren't. I turned up, she goes, have you got an appointment? And I went, no. And she goes, have you filled out a form? And I went, no. And then she threw this form at me, and as I'm walking off, she goes, thank you very much for giving blood. We really appreciate it. Giving blood is the greatest gift anyone could ever receive. And I'm thinking, Linda's never been given a slow cooker. So, take this form, I start filling it out. I had to use this woman's eyeliner because Linda wouldn't lend me a pen. Just filling it all out. And as I said, the only reason I went to go and give blood is make myself feel like I'd done something with my life. And instead, I'm faced with all these very serious adult questions. It was things like, have you ever been to Africa? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a man? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a prostitute? And I thought, I've done fucking nothing with my life. Nothing. Have you injected drugs? Have you spoken drugs? Have you had any treatments in the last 6 months? I panicked. I went, oh, well, me and my mum have had facials off Groupon. Not the right answer. Weirdest question, are you HIV positive? I was like, what? Like, no. Like, if anything, I'm against it. And then they took me off into this room, and there's all these sort of like Sharons and Johns lay on beds with sort of needles in their arms. Like, it looked like a spa day for smackheads. Put a belt round my arm, not even a nice belt. They spanked it a bit, they told me to relax, and then they whipped out the biggest flipping needle I've ever seen in my life, and I just fainted. Completely fainted. I can hear all these muffled voices, and then I can hear Linda's bellowing voice just going, I knew he'd be a fainter. I'm like... By the time I'd come around, all these people are trying to help me out, and Linda just parted them. And her way of trying to make me feel better, her way of trying to make me feel like a proper grown-up was going, would you like a glass of orange juice and a biscuit? I was like, no, Linda, I want to have sex with an African gay man for money. That's what I want to bloody do.
Explain the concept and naked attraction to you, and you're going to think to yourself, Suze, previous to your gig tonight, did you nip outside and smoke some crack? Because that's how mental it is. Right, Emma, a girl walks out on stage, she's like, I'm looking for a boyfriend. And the host goes, brilliant, we've got 6 naked men in tubes behind. Then the host says to the girl, what are you looking for? And the girl will always do the same thing. She'll go, oh my God, you've really put me on the spot. And you think, no, you chose to come on this show, moron. She goes, well, I guess I'm looking for a boyfriend, but also a friend. I really like going to European city breaks, maybe someone that likes travel. And I really like music gigs as well, so maybe someone that likes music. And I guess if I'm being really honest, what I'm looking for is love. And the host goes, brilliant, let's see if you can find love by judging dongs, okay? 6 naked men in tubes, okay? Now, Emma, there's a screen in front of all of them. Every round, the screen goes up a little bit more to show a little bit more of the naked body. Every round, one man gets eliminated until the end. She's got a couple of nudie fellas to choose from, okay? Now, Emma, first round, screen just goes up to their knees. There's always one bloke who's got really rough feet, really rough. Like he was an extra in The Hobbit. And he just never took the feet off afterwards, right? Now, she clearly looked at them feet and thought, well, them trotters ain't coming home with me, right? And you think, well, that's the end for him. Not the end. They don't shoot him. You think it's the end of the show for him, but it's not. It's not the end of the show, because he then has the indignity of the screen going the whole way up. So you see his penis and his face. Then he has the most awkward moment in television where he steps out of his tube, walks over to her and gives her the most uncomfortable hug you have ever seen. Well, you can tell all he is thinking is, don't touch the lady with your dick. Whatever you do, don't touch the stranger with your dick. And then his sad little ass walks off stage. Now... the next round, the screen comes up to the waist. And let's be honest, it is the round we are all watching for. It's cock-a-clock. Now, it's not going to come as a surprise to any of you. There's a lot of people in this evening. I bet it doesn't come as a surprise to one person in this room. I ain't seen many willies. I ain't seen many of them. I ain't seen many willies. I'm not a connoisseur when it comes to willies. I was straight for a month when I was 18. I don't have the wrists, okay? But even to me, even to the untrained eye, there was one that I was like, oh, there's something up with him. There was something just not quite right about it. They're not meant to have a corner, are they? Halfway through, it had like a proper corner. Now, she clearly looked at that one and went, ooh. She can't do that, can she? She's got to go work on Monday. She don't look like a bitch on TV. So instead, she has to do a little lie. Emma, see if you can see where she went wrong. She went, I'm going to have to get rid of number 4. Kind of weird dick. I'm going to have to get rid of number 4 because the way that he's standing, he doesn't really look like a very confident guy. And I'm only really attracted to really confident guys. And I thought, he has his penis out on television. How much more confident would you like this twat to be?
I was on holiday recently. I was on an all-inclusive. We all love an all-inclusive holiday, don't we? Oh, aye. Chips and gateau for breakfast. Yes. I always think it's amazing. I can always identify where people are from on an all-inclusive holiday. It's fascinating for me. Like, the Italians. You can always tell the Italians because they could put on a bag of rags and look amazing. Then you can see the Germans, and they're quiet. And they're reserved. And then there's us. The British. That's interesting, isn't it? Because we all want to become pals with each other. I've had a pen pal in Woking for 25 years that I met in Lanzarote. But it was a really, really interesting for me because there's a way I can always tell if someone is from the south of England on holiday. And it's I don't need to hear your accent, nothing. The way, number one, I will tell if you are from the south of England is, it will be 9 o'clock at night. It's 28 degrees. The moon and the stars are out. And you come out wearing a wee jumper. Because it gets a bit chilly. It's 28 degrees. The moon's out. I'm Scottish. I'm like past the factor 50 hen. I do not trust the moon burn. Get me. The factor 50. Then there's another way I can always tell someone is from the south of England. You and I are on an all-inclusive holiday. We can eat as much as we want, and they will go to the bar and they will order a half pint. No, you can't order a half pint in Scotland. Next time you visit Scotland, try and order a half pint. That is one of the most tense conversations you will ever have. About 3 months ago, I went to a bar in my home city of Glasgow, and I says to the barman, can I have 2 pints of lager and a half pint of lager? And he looked at me, and he went, what was that? I said, it's 2 pints. He went, no, just the last one. I went, it's just a half pint of lager, mate. Hold on. Come here. Tell him. Just the last one. I mean, it's just a half pint of lager. Is that for you? It's for my pal. Ah. Are they on antibiotics? Are they pregnant? Would they like a colouring book and crayons with that?
I've made a list of pros and cons, because I've been spending a lot of time in brothels and prisons. Made a list of pros and cons, always good, give you a bit of balance, Con, complete loss of all feelings of hope and possibility. That doesn't sound very good, does it? It doesn't sound much fun, does it? Pro, increased plug socket access. Bang, 1-1. I say increased. It's actually total plug socket access. I've got 32 plug sockets in my house. Each and every one of them is now under my sole domain. Con, all experiences that form the basis of my happiness and sense of self-worth are now destroyed by grief. Downer! A bit of a downer. Pro, less recycling. I can fit it all in the green box now. It's remarkable when you take into account just how much I'm drinking. Oh, John, you're meant to heat mulled wine. All right, Your Highness, hand me the bottle and leave. Con, I'm gonna lose me house. Bit of fun. Pro, 25% off council tax. I was on that like a ferret. Dialing as the door slammed. And that's us fresh out of cons. The rest are just pros, guys. Yeah. Increased freezer space, all 4 drawers. Cheaper gas and electric. Reduced wear and tear on fixtures and fittings. And when I say reduced, I don't mean by half, because I was only ever responsible for about 10% of scuffs and spills. So we're looking at a net reduction of 90% in real terms. This is my favourite one. Ultimate control over where the iPhone charger cable is and why it is there. There was a time it would take hours to answer the questions, where is the iPhone charger cable and why is it there? Not anymore. Plugged in next to the bed, most convenient place to have it. Simple. Is it unplugged in the bathroom? No, it's not. It'd be a ludicrous place to keep it. There's no plug socket in the bathroom. Is it in the front pocket of a rucksack you no longer use? No, that'll be the last place you look. That'll be very frustrating. Is it plugged in on a train we have alighted from? No. It's plugged in next to the bed because that's the most convenient place to have it.
My daughter and I were really close. I took her out for some festive cocktails last week, and we went to one of those lovely fancy sky bars down on the south bank of the Thames. And as we were queuing to get in, they were doing very, very thorough bag checks on the door. My daughter's face just fell, and she said, Mum, they won't suspect you. Can you put my weed in your pocket? Oh, something's gone wrong here, hasn't it? Can you put my weed in your pocket, please? And where was I going to put my cocaine? But we got in, we had the most wonderful night, and we kept getting free cocktails. There was a very, very good-looking young waiter, wouldn't let us pay for a single thing. At the end of the night, that waiter came over, he bent down, he said to my daughter, he said, if you weren't here, I'd take your mum home with me. I couldn't believe how long it took to get an Uber for my daughter. It was... So I found this thing online that can best be described as a menopause magnet, right? I don't mean George Clooney. This is literally a magnetic device to help a woman through the menopause. This thing arrived in the post. It said it would help me with my mood swings and my hot flushes. And what you do is, I know this sounds weird, sir, right? But what you do is, you put a magnet on the front of your knickers. You put a metal disc on the inside of your knickers. It keeps the magnet securely and discreetly in place. And that bit works so beautifully. But what they don't tell you on the menopause magnet packaging is when it is tucked neatly and very discreetly in your pants, distinct possibility you will find yourself metallically attached to the self-checkout in Waitrose. The unexpected item in the bagging area. I just rang it through as a butternut squash and I pissed off. I felt so stupid. The week before, I'd spent a whole 10 minutes attached to my tumble dryer. I mean, it was a very nice 10 minutes if I'm... It took me so long to decorate the tree this year. All the baubles kept getting stuck in my pubic triangle. I've still got at least one novelty Santa down there. But no, they're really powerful magnets. Honestly, so if you've got any metal fillings, I'd shimmy back a bit and shut your mouth. A pandemic was no place for a menopausal woman, right? Do you remember when they were taking your temperatures everywhere before you could get in? We were only ever one hot flush away from getting fully cancelled. It was... I remember the last time it happened so clearly. I was out with a friend, we were trying to just get a pizza, and they were taking temperatures on the door, and the guy took mine, and he looked at me, he said, "There's a problem." And I said, "What do you mean there's a problem?" He said, "I'm really sorry, there is a problem." And I said, "Am I a little bit overheated?" That's funny, because I'm a 50-year-old woman. I've just spent an hour and a quarter on the Northern Line wearing a mask, and I raised 2 children single-handedly. I gave birth to them with no pain relief while their dad complained his back was hurting, and I hadn't had a good night's sleep in about 2 years because of my anxiety, my irrational crying, and my vaginal dryness. I don't know what my body's doing. It should send the tears down there. That's where I really need them, and I am attached to your fire extinguisher by my pants. Turned out the problem was with the card machine. You had to pay on the app, so...
I said, "What do you want?" He goes, "I want a cat." And I said, "A cat? Nah, I'm not gonna buy you a cat. No one gets a pet for Christmas." And you know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. There was a mouse, a little mouse. It came into the house, and the girlfriend, she saw it, she goes, "Ah! What's he doing in here? What's he doing in here? We've got a mortgage." Like, that's got to do with anything. Like, all the mice is outside there. It's like, "Hold on, guys, before we go in there, we need to see if this is rental accommodation first." Yo, fam, put that cheese down. We haven't seen the tenancy agreements yet. It might be a hoax, right? It don't work that way. So she was like, "Marlon, we need a cat." I said, "I don't want one." She said, "Marlon, we need a cat." So we compromised and we got one. So we went to this place where they hold all of the cats in the world. And I walked in there, I was like, "I want a cat." And the lady said, "That's not how it works, sir." I said, "Please." She said, "No, what it is, we need to interview you to see if you're fit to have a cat." And I started panicking. At this point, I said, "Listen, right, lady, right, listen, right, between me and you, I've got a son." I said, "Human being, 8 years old, and he's not dead." And she looked at me, she was like, "Yeah, you can have a cat." So she brought us up the stairs, man. When she brought us up the stairs, I've never seen so much cats before in my life. There was more cats than people in this room right now, right? And they were there, different shapes, different sizes. And my girlfriend, she got drawn to one cat, which was like blue and grey. I've never seen a cat like this before, a blue and grey cat, and his whiskers were out, and the tail was up, and she walked over to the cubicle where the little cat was, and she put her hand right up against it, and the cat came along, and he put his paw there, and it was like they were touching. And she was like, "I want that cat." And the lady said, "No." She said, "Why?" She said, "Well, that cat, it can't live with children." And my girlfriend looked at me like to say, "Fuck the kid." "I want that cat." The lady said, "No, you can't have that cat, but we've got some cats that is suitable for you, but they're in this corner over here." And she walked us into this corner, ladies and gentlemen, and all of the cats in this area here were black cats. Yes, and my paranoia, that went off straight away. I was like, hold on a minute, we can't have that over there, but we can have any of these ones. I've got to fight racism in the real world, but also in the feline world as well. This is bloody ridiculous. And she said, "This one's called Denzel." And this is Barack and Michelle, right? They come. Marlon, you've lost your mind, you know. You don't want a cat. Let's just get any of them. So, we got Beyonce. We got.
when we first moved to our area, it was a bit shit, right? But it's got nice. It's got a little bit nicer. It's very slightly gentrified. So now everyone that owns their property, they go on Rightmove every day for a little wank. Like, ooh, let's have a little look at what our house is worth. Let's think of somewhere cheaper and put it in and see what we can get for it. Put it in somewhere shit, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere up north. Put that in. And then you're like, fucking hell, we could own Hull. It's disgusting. It's very vulgar. So, I've never lived anywhere nice before. It's been quite interesting watching it sort of change a little bit. Like, first off, there's little signs that you notice when a change is on the horizon. Like, first off, it's the availability of sourdough. Change a-coming. And then it's the pub. It's always the pub. You've got to keep an eye on the pub. The pub changes. Like our old pub, it was a sort of working class pub. Old blokes in there, smoking roll-ups, buying and selling the odd gun, watching Sky Sports, right? But they've all had to go now. They've all been kicked out and the pub's been done up. It's all shabby chic. It's all been done a bit retro. And now, you know, there's like pictures on the wall, old Polaroid photographs of working class blokes smoking roll-ups, buying and selling guns, watching Sky Sports. And you can eat there. You can get food in the pub now. You can get a rustic frittata on a distressed camping plate. Or like pizza off a bin lid. It's great. Tapas off a plank. Because gentrified people like to eat food from bits of shit in a shed, bits of crap, bits sticking around in a garage. I've had soup out of a bedpan. Nice. I like it. You have to get a tetanus after you've had a meal, but it's nice. And parenting at Christmas time, I worry about my parenting. I don't know if I'm that good at it. I get into rows. I row with my kids. You shouldn't row with kids, should you? It's really frowned at. I said to my friend, I row with my kids. And she said, what do you mean you row with them? You mean you, like, tell them off? I said, no, because that would suggest status, wouldn't it? That would imply I've got some power in our relationship. But I don't seem to have any power. We're in the supermarket recently, getting all the shopping in. I'm quite harassed. I've got other things I need to be doing. One of them's like, no, we don't like pasta shells. We only like pasta bows. I'm like, it's the same. It's the same thing. All of the pastas are the same. The pipes and the bows and the shells and the twists. What are you looking at? I said, you don't give a toss about shape when it's chocolate, do you? No, because there's no glory in winning a row with a child. Like, if you win a row with your mate, you then tell your other mate, don't you? And then you're like, and then I said, right? And then I said, you don't give a shit about shape when it's chocolate, do ya? And I said it to her face. It's like, oh, well done with your 6-year-old kid. Well done, Kel. And my son loves to play Snap. He loves to play Dinosaur Snap. And he hates to lose, because kids do, don't they? Kids hate losing games. You won't meet a kid that loses a game that's like, no, it's fine, best of 5, let's just go again. So I have to let him win, because I'm his mum and I love him in a sort of oppressive, cloying way. So I have to let him win. He'll lose at things later in life when I can't control that for him. But for this game of Snap, I can let him win, can't I? But it turns out that my reflexes aren't as sentimental as me. So a diplodocus goes down, and then another diplodocus, and before I quite know what's happening, I'm like, snap! Snap! Ha!
I grew up in Dudley, in the West Midlands. Yeah, a lot of people grow up there because that's the only thing there is to do. What are you doing? Growing. In the 50s, my parents emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Yeah, Nancy, I'm going to say that again just for you. They emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Why? What was my dad thinking? Bloody blue sky all the time. I want hail and sleet and snow. All this joyous reggae music. Where can a man get some Des O'Connor? We need pack your bags, we're going to Dudley. They made me go to church every Sunday. The Pentecostal Church of God in Prophecy. See, that's a black name. Black churches are always called things like St. Thomas's. We're all outside going, St. Thomas's what? St. Thomas's Epiphany of the Shining Light of God in Christ in West Bromwich? Now, that's a name. You arrived late for church. Sorry I'm late, I was reading the signs. It's as good as Stephen King. I went to Blue Coat Secondary Modern School in Dudley. A lot of bullying there. I mean, you know, back in the day, it was different as well. You get punched in the face, you keep it to yourself. Nowadays, you go straight to the head teacher. Peter Wilkins has been punching me every day since the start of term. I'm not going to teach him anymore. I've got a daughter, 17. She's got a pet name for me. Taxi. Yeah, because the only time I see her is in the car, and even then she gets in the back. I'm like, how was school? She's like, you're not one of those cabbies who's going to talk all the time, are you? Her childhood's different from mine. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, it felt like everybody in Dudley had permission to beat me. It wasn't just my mum. You know, I'd be mucking about in the street, suddenly, bam, Mrs. Fearon from number 14 slapped me around the face. Then she'd drag me to my house and tell my mum, Mrs. Henry, I saw Len misbehaving in the street, so I beat him for you. Do you know what my mother said to this woman? Thank you very much. I have 6 other children, help yourself anytime. We made a documentary in Dudley about my mum last year. My brother Paul said this on camera, no word of a lie. Lynn, when mum used to beat you, we used to think it was really funny. Bastards! Where's the solidarity in that? I'm getting my arse tore up, they're eating popcorn, they've pulled up chairs. Oh, it's not as funny as last week. Mom, work the ribs now, work the ribs. Mom, Ali Shuffle, remember? Ali, Boombaye. Mom, like Popeye, remember? Fabida, 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 fabida. When Mom used to beat me, she always said the same thing. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. What parents are insane? I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. All the white people, what kind of parenting is that? Lamar's like, yeah, me too. Oh, man. You know what I'd like to see on television? Jamaican Super Nanny. Beat him if it's been bad, beat him if it's been good. Beat him to show how much you love him. Beat him till your arms hurt so much. You have to beat him for making your arms hurt so much. She wouldn't mess about, would she? All right, no. This is what I call the naughty cheer. What's that for? You pick it up and you beat him with it. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own rotten good.
I read this thing, right, online, so it must be true, where everyone who's under the age of 30 is going to live till 160. Like, you look tired now. 160? I don't want to be sat in a flat, leaking, liver spotted. Your ears and nose, they never stop growing. I'm going to be sat there looking like I work at bloody Gringotts Bank, just like, And I think if I get to 160, I'm ending it. I don't know how you do it. What are you going to do? Sort of suffocate yourself with a bag for life? I reckon the best way, and maybe like a toaster in a bath situation, but it'd be one of those like sit-down baths with a chair and a door, and then you have to wait for it all to fill up. You put in a bit of matey for a last bit of luxury, and then you go, oh shit, I forgot the toaster, and then you have to wait for it all to drain. You open the door, you go out onto the landing, down a stair lift, into the kitchen, you go, what the bloody hell have I come in here for? It's never going to happen. I'm trying to do more nice things, though. That's what I'm trying to do. Because I've never really done anything with my life. I did a thing recently. I went to go and give blood for the first time. Has anyone ever done that? It's just one woman like, yeah, I did it today. It's amazing, but I thought you did it in like a hospital or like a sanitised medical centre. You don't. You do it in like a rugby club or like a methadone church, right? I turned up to this bingo hall near my nan's house, right? I was greeted by the second moodiest person I've ever seen in my life. It was a woman called Linda. Like, her name badge said Jean, but she looked like a Linda. Do you know what I mean? Like, short bob, gelled fringe, good at darts. She weren't happy. She weren't... I turned up, she goes, have you got an appointment? And I went, no. And she goes, have you filled out a form? And I went, no. And then she threw this form at me, and as I'm walking off, she goes, thank you very much for giving blood. We really appreciate it. Giving blood is the greatest gift anyone could ever receive. And I'm thinking, Linda's never been given a slow cooker. So, take this form, I start filling it out. I had to use this woman's eyeliner because Linda wouldn't lend me a pen. Just filling it all out. And as I said, the only reason I went to go and give blood is make myself feel like I'd done something with my life. And instead, I'm faced with all these very serious adult questions. It was things like, have you ever been to Africa? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a man? And I'm like, no. And he goes, have you ever had sex with a prostitute? And I thought, I've done fucking nothing with my life. Nothing. Have you injected drugs? Have you smoked drugs? Have you had any treatments in the last 6 months? I panicked. I went, oh, well, me and my mum have had facials off Groupon. Not the right answer. Weirdest question, are you HIV positive? I was like, what? Like, no. Like, if anything, I'm against it. And then they took me off into this room, and there's all these sort of like Sharons and Johns lay on beds with sort of needles in their arms. Like, it looked like a spa day for smackheads. Put a belt round my arm, not even a nice belt. They spanked it a bit, they told me to relax, and then they whipped out the biggest flipping needle I've ever seen in my life, and I just fainted. Completely fainted. I can hear all these muffled voices, and then I can hear Linda's bellowing voice just going, I knew he'd be a fainter. I'm like... By the time I'd come around, all these people are trying to help me out, and Linda just parted them. And her way of trying to make me feel better, her way of trying to make me feel like a proper grown-up was going, would you like a glass of orange juice and a biscuit? I was like, no, Linda, I want to have sex with an African gay man for money. That's what I want to bloody do.
So the winter's drawing in. It's over. The summer was over. We never even had a summer. It was so depressing. Nothing happened, except there was a lot of rain, a great deal of rain. More rain ever since records began. Yes. Not that we have any idea what that means. There was this strange period in history with no records at all. People would leave their homes and go, it feels slightly different to yesterday. Is anybody writing this down? And then after a period of time, somebody said, enough's enough, I will write this down. I would like to announce that records have begun. That first day must have been quite a record-breaking day, don't you think? It's the hottest, wettest, windiest day since records began! This morning, I've only just started. I think about the wind as well, on the weather. Who cares about the wind? Could it be a stiff northeasterly breeze? I'm not sailing to work. I don't give a shit. People see that and go, I'll leave slightly later with the tailwind. I'll be there in half the time. Woohoo! Then the clocks are going to change. Nobody knows when the clocks are going to change. They change on a Saturday night. Nobody knows it's going to happen. Everybody the same every Saturday night, every year. They don't know which way or what's going on. You only find out about it late on Saturday night. You overhear somebody, excuse me, what was that? The clocks, they changed. When? Tonight? Oh! Darling, the clocks, which way? They go back. Is that the good one? How many years do we need to be alive before we know when they change and which way? An extra hour! Woohoo! The only thing we can look forward to, ladies and gentlemen, in this winter is snow. It's the only thing that gets us through, because the weather's terrible, but snow is the holy grail. Nothing beats snow. And normally, we get one day of snow, and you've got to hope that it snows overnight, so you can be snowed in. Earlier this year, it snowed in the middle of the day. You don't want that. I was waiting for my bus, and where I live, there's no tube. You have to wait for the bus. The buses actually originate there. The bus is already there. So it's even more frustrating. I'm waiting for the driver. We've got everything we need. We're looking for people. Can you drive this thing? And that's when the snow came. Amazing, instantly landing snow. The best of snow. I mean, the most unbelievable snow. And then I realized, oh my God, I could get snowed out. This is not what I need. The driver shows up, and he says, ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you, due to the chaos on the roads, it's been snowing 8 seconds at this point. we're cancelling the bus. There will be no running of this service. And we're like, well, hang on a minute. We bought our tickets. What are we going to do? How are we supposed to get home? There's no way to get home. What are we going to do? And he said, don't shout at me. I actually live at the other end of this bus route. I take this bus home, and then I'm relieved by another driver. And we're like, this is a very interesting development. How are you going to get home? He said, well, there's only one thing to do. Walk. It's the only way we can get home. It's the only way at all. I'm like, fine, OK. So we walked the bus route, led by the driver. We came to the first stop. We had to tell the people waiting, there's no bus. And they joined our imaginary bus. It was getting bigger and bigger. I looked behind us, I could see the next imaginary bus. Not a bus, just people walking. And it was catching up fast, because no one to pick up from the stops. And the driver saw this as well, and he turned around. He said, when we get to the next stop, don't tell them anything. Keep walking, they can get on the next one. I thought this was one of the funniest things that ever happened to me. I said to the woman walking next to me, I said, this is hilarious. We're on an imaginary bus. There's a driver. There are old people walking. And this is funny, right? And I thought we were on the same wavelength. But now I remember I was doing most of the talking because she said, I'd love to chat, but this is my stop. She got down to an actual bus stop and then walked in the direction we had just come from.
Sometimes people come up to me after shows and say, I don't like female comedians. They talk about sex too much. I say the reason why women comedians such as myself talk about sex all the time is because, well, sex is one of the few things men allow us to participate in. I am an identical twin. I know. I get asked, how do people tell you apart? And the answer is it's pretty easy, because I live in London and she's dead. No, relax, it's fine. She died at birth. Which I'm absolutely okay with, because that means I'll always be the pretty one. You'll be relieved to know that being American is not my only disability. I also have a very mild form of cerebral palsy. It's not a big deal. In Japanese, it's called no seishou ni mahi. Sounds very exotic. In French, it's called infirmité motrice cérébrale. It sounds much more expensive. I was going to learn how to say it in Russian, but Putin's not my president anymore, so... All it really means is I can't use the muscles on the right side of my body very well, even my face to a certain extent. God help the man hoping for a return on a left cheek kiss, because I will bite your face off. Mostly, though, it's my right arm and hand that I can't use. I can place most things in my hand and hold them. I can also give people the finger, if you're into that sort of thing. Just takes 20 minutes. And when I walk with a limp because I like big dicks if I can not. I do. My mom, she feels responsible for my disability because she is. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I love my mother very, very much. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be a comedian. But I would be able to use both hands. I moved to London 5 years ago, but I've been coming to the UK every summer for years and years before that, because I fucking love you guys. I do. I genuinely cannot get enough of you and your no-can-do spirit. Also, as as a disabled person that can't drive, I figured out that countries with obvious alcohol problems have pretty decent public transportation. And you people drink a lot. There's been a strike going on, and I'm still getting to gigs. That's how much you drink. We Americans, we don't drink as much as you. We physically can't. We're on too many opioids.
As much as you want to save animals, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do it by buying cosmetics. Pretty sure you can't walk into the body shop and buy some burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub, and some little badger somewhere in Scotland is going to go, wow, I feel a whole lot better about my life right now. Somebody's buying that burdock root peppermint oil foot scrub. I don't see the point in testing cosmetics on rabbits anyway, because they're already cute. Slather some lip gloss and eyeliner all over them. Now they're all gussied up like some $3 whore. There's no dignity in that for a rabbit whatsoever. You want to test out cosmetics? Test them out on big game, because they stink. Get up under a hippopotamus there and get some roll-on deodorant under his armpit. See how fresh and self-assured he stays all day, huh? Little lip gloss on a beaver. A real beaver. Stay with me, fella. Real beaver. Right? Dam building, log eating beaver. If he's charged through 60 logs and he's still wearing that lip gloss, that's some damn good lip gloss right there, ladies and gentlemen. You know this whole thing about, you ever meet someone famous and you tell your friends, and then they say, well, what was he like? Because all they really want to hear is that he was a prick. That's why they like to say Tom Cruise is the nicest guy in Hollywood. And I always think, well, if I was making $8 million a film, I'd be nice too. Jesus Christ, but I'm not sure he is that nice. Because I always read these articles about how he's so insular and he's into his Scientology and he, stays at a hotel, won't make eye contact with anyone in the hotel because he doesn't want to talk about the plots to his new films. Apparently, as if staring Tom Cruise in the face, he would just crack under pressure. What are you staring at? Hey, you want to hear about my new film? You ever seen a Tom Cruise film like it couldn't figure out the plot in about 18 seconds? Oh, Christ. He's a cocktail maker. He's a pretty good cocktail maker, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence and can't make cocktails anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better cocktail maker. A riveting piece of cinema that was. Then he's a race car driver. Pretty good race car driver, too. Till he has a crisis of confidence. Can't race cars anymore. Then he meets a good-looking woman who talks him into being a better race car driver. Then he's a jet pilot. Some of you are starting to see a pattern emerge here. Pretty good jet pilot? Yes, he was. Until he had a crisis of confidence, couldn't fly jets anymore. Then I believe he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better jet pilot. Then he was a sports agent. Then he was the brother of a retarded guy. And he was a pretty good brother of a retarded guy until he had a crisis of confidence and wasn't so sure he was such a good brother of a retarded guy. And then he met a good-looking woman who talked him into being a better brother of a retarded guy. Then he was some kind of, I don't know what he's in now, War of the Worlds. Maybe he fights the world. And you know what? I bet he's a pretty good world fighter. But at some point he'll probably have a crisis of confidence. You're gonna meet a good-looking woman who convinces him it's okay to fight the world. Could be a Scrabble player for all I care. He's a pretty good Scrabble player. Till he draws all vowels. Has a crisis of consonants. And he meets a lovely Welsh woman who teaches him a lot of words he's never heard before.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's too expensive to be dating right now in this economy, man. All my go-to moves for dating, I can't even afford them no more. I'm pissed off, I used to do the Netflix and chill. That was my go-to move, but that subscription is too much right now. I can't afford it, okay? If I had to downsize, I tell girls, baby, we're gonna have to Wikipedia and chill. That's my new move right now. That's where we read the plot of the movie by candlelight. Take it or leave it. Also, bring your phone. We're using your data, by the way. You better be on gift gaff. As you go, you gotta go. Those are the rules, you know. There's consequences to that, though. I had a girl break up with me just because I didn't have money, and she got a new boyfriend. He's a nice guy, I know, because I stalk him online sometimes. He's a really nice man. Treats my girl really well, he really does. He buys her expensive handbags and things like that, and that's when I realized I can't compete, man. I can't compete with that. I never even bought this girl a bag for life, not one time. That's cheap. I'll be in Tesco like, baby, you better put that cheese in your pocket. We're not spending that 50p right there. These gold diggers want my plastic bags. They can't have them. That's my bag right there. I'm not a big fan of social media, man. I'm really not. Because I feel like with social media, when you break up with somebody, you can see what they're up to online. I don't like that. I prefer in the past where you broke up with somebody, you could just lie to yourself and pretend that they were still unhappy. That was a good era. I like that. You just be lying to yourself. You be like, man, she probably missing me all the time. She probably sad, you know. Now you just go on her Instagram and you're like, oh no, she 100% made the right decision. Good for her, man. I haven't seen her smile like this in years. In fact, she's thriving. She got 3 bags for life in one photo. She leveled up for real, bet. Congratulations to you, baby, you know. Do you know, when it comes to dating, I feel like the most important thing is finding somebody that you're compatible with, someone you have that connection with. For example, I used to date this girl, me and her got on really well, but there was a problem, and that was she liked dogs, right? Don't get me wrong, I like dogs too, but she liked dogs too much, you know? She liked dogs too much. She used to kiss her dog. That was weird, you know? I don't even know what was weirder. Was it the fact that she would kiss her dog, or the fact that when she did, the dog would make eye contact with me the whole time? That's a weird power play. I said, this dog is an alpha. I don't feel safe in this relationship. This is a toxic masculinity dog right here. I gotta go. I caught that dog listening to Andrew Tate. I said, I'm out of here. I can't do this no more. I've been reading up about that. That's the new thing, toxic masculinity, man. You know, I keep hearing women say men are trash. You know, I don't think anybody's asking the important questions. Are they recyclable? I feel like that's the kind of stuff we gotta ask. Can we make this toxicity carbon neutral? Maybe, I don't know, you know. I like to think I'm a good guy, but even as a good guy, I make small mistakes sometimes, innocent mistakes. You ever been in that situation as a man, a really awkward situation, you're walking home late at night and there's a woman in front of you and it's dark and there's a lot of tension in the air. You can feel the tension, right? Obviously, I can understand why the woman's feeling tense, but I'm feeling tense too, okay? I'm a good guy, I just want that woman to relax, we both go about our day. But apparently, it makes it worse in that situation if you shout out, I'm not gonna hurt you! Like that makes the situation more tense. Sometimes they run faster when you do that. Don't do that, guys. Don't jump out of the bush and do that. Women don't like that, okay? One time I was walking behind this woman late at night. I know it sounds like there's a pattern emerging. I'm not doing this on purpose. Just walk off the night bus at the same time. It's unfortunate, you know. But I'm walking behind this woman. I was like, I don't want to make the same mistake from last time, shout something out, do something dumb. So I thought it'd be a good idea if I did something non-verbal to help put the woman at ease, okay? I thought it'd be a good idea if I started whistling at night because I thought that would make the atmosphere more jovial. No, it doesn't. Makes it way creepier to my surprise, actually. Especially if you're like me and you don't even know how to whistle properly. So then you're just a guy who's blowing in the wind in the dark real slow, like. Look like a creepy dinosaur, you can't do that.
You do a thing in the UK called pre-drinks. Pre-drinks, all right? Some people call it prinks, because they don't even have time to pronounce the whole word before they get on it, all right? Pre-drinks, I had no idea what it was. I had to ask my friend. I was like, Di, what the hell are pre-drinks? He said, Ignacio, it's great. We drink at home before we go out to go drinking. I said, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. I said, why would you do this? He said, you know, just to warm up to get ready to go drinking. I said, that doesn't make any sense, all right? You don't do it for anything else, do you? You don't go, we're going to go to the cinema, pop a fucking DVD in before we go to the cinema. Just fire up the old Netflix and do shots of popcorn. Is it made before we go down to the cinema? Craziness. Everything revolves around booze, okay? People in this country start drinking around about 13, 14 years of age. Does that feel about right? 13, 14. Some of you, depending on where you're from, younger. Some of you older, all right? I get that. But I came over, I visited as a teenager, and I found out the way it works, all right? I was trying to fit in, and they were like, right, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go down drinking in the park, all right? We're gonna go drinking in the park as teenagers, all right? I was like, right, they go, right, we're gonna steal booze from our parents, and we're gonna go down the park, all right? I was like, okay, no problem. So I showed up to the park, all right, feeling like Jason Bourne or something in my backpack, and I think, pull out the stuff, all right, what's in there? They were like, what the hell is Rioja? Like, it's Rioja. Does anyone have a corkscrew, actually? Because otherwise we're gonna be here for a while. The thing is, like, kids do that, and if they can't steal the booze from their parents, what they do is they'll stand by an off license, all right? And they will wait for somebody to walk past who looks just dodgy enough, but not too dodgy, so they can offer them money and go, hey, can you go in the shop for me and pick me up some beer, some vodka, whatever, we can go down drink in the park, and that person will go get the cash, and then you go there, you get shit-faced as teenagers, it bonds you, okay? It brings you together. At least that was my experience, okay, back in the day. But times have changed, all right? I went to back where my mother's from, okay? My mother's from a little town in Wales called Pontardawe, all right? Don't know if anyone's heard of it. Tiny little town, Pontardawe. Pontardawe is a Welsh word, all right? Pont means bridge, and Dawe means over a shithole, okay? It's not a delightful place to move to from Mallorca, is what I'm trying to say. Right? My mother hates that joke. She's like, Ignacio, please stop saying that. They've taken all of the trolleys out of the canal, all right? Can we... But I was visiting and I was walking to see my mother and I passed an off license, okay? And there's this kid stood by the off license as I'm passing, all right? And he clocks me and I've got my guitar on my shoulder, so he's thinking, this guy's got no prospects. So he comes over to me with his cash, all right? And he was like, hey, could you maybe go in the shop? I'm like, I know where this is going. He goes, can you pop in the shop? I'm like, right. He goes, if I give you this money? I'm like, yep. And he goes, and get me some. I was like, I know where we're going. He goes, vape. I was like, what? He goes, vape. I said, seriously, vape? He said, yeah. I said, what flavor? He said, cherry. I was like, of course, cherry vape. All right, rock and roll. I go in the shop. I'm laughing to myself. I can't believe these kids asked me for cherry vape. How times have changed, all right? I go up to the counter. The guy behind the counter must have thought I was insane, all right? I'm laughing the whole way through the shop. I grab the stuff, pay for it, put it in the bag. I walk out. I'm laughing on the way out. I give the kid the bag. I go, there you go, pal. 20 Marlboro Red and a bottle of vodka. Grow up, you little shit. What is this? Vape nonsense.
All of the parenting stresses me out. All of it. Like right from the beginning, when you're pregnant, you've got to think of a name for your kid. You're like, right, we're going to have to name it. That's tradition. Going to have to give it a name. And it's hard to think of a name for a kid because that's their name. That's going to be their name all their life if it pans out. And I'm an indecisive person. I struggle to think of passwords for websites, and you get help for that, don't you? Like, oh, no, weak. And names go in and out of fashion, don't they? Some names, they can be in fashion, but they don't come back in. We all know those names. And I tell you a thing that's back in fashion now, and I find it fascinating, is virtue names, right? That is back in fashion, those virtue names. It's a sort of Victorian notion that if you name your kid after a virtue, they might live up to that virtue. But that's risky business, isn't it? That's hubris. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your son Victor. He could end up a bit of a loser. Ernest, he could become a bullshitter. Grace is an ever-popular name. I wouldn't risk it. You could call your daughter Grace. She could end up a sort of galumphing oaf. Sacking her head on low beams. Falling into crockery at dinner parties. You'd be like, oh, come on, Grace. Do your laces up, babe. Stop farting. Prudent, she'll end up lip deep in debt, won't she? Chastity. Although my son is called Frank. Someone said to me, you've done it, innit? You've called your son Frank. That's a virtue. To be honest, to be above board, to be trustworthy. I was like, oh, shit, never thought of that. He'd end up an estate agent now, isn't he? He's funny, Frank. I think he's funny. I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'm his mum. He's not funny. My child's funny. Tell a joke. Look at 774 pictures of my child. But I think he's funny, right? I went to pick him up from school the other day. I pick him up every day because they get proper arsey if you don't. They do. They ring you. They're like, where are you? I'm like, TK Maxx, where are you? Oh, all right then, yeah. So, yes, I went to pick him up from school and I was late and I wasn't being very laid back that day. I was running a bit late, a bit stressed. I had my eldest with me. I had my mate's 2 kids that were coming back for tea. I thought we'd just get him and go. He's in reception. I was like, right, we'll just get off, yeah? But the teacher stopped me. She went, can you wait, actually? Can we have a quick chat? In that, you know, voice. So I had to arrange my face into one of those mum pretending to give a shit faces. I said, go on, what's he done? She said, do you want to tell Mummy what you did today, Frank, or shall I tell Mummy? He's got upset now. He's like, you tell Mummy. I'm like, what's he done? What? She said, look, today, Frank stuck a digit up the teaching assistant's bottom. That's not ideal, is it? It's very difficult to know what to do with your face. I was going through all the faces in my phone. She said, we've talked about bodies, haven't we, Frank? And areas of bodies that we respect. I thought now would be a really bad time to go, this is awful. I mean, this is a finger up the TA's... I mean, this is now they're teaching numeracy in primary education now. It's not like, oh, if Frank's got one finger up the TA's arse, how many fingers are still on the outside?
I'm freaking out. So the head hangs there for about 10, 12 minutes. Finally, the midwife says, it's almost here. It's time. If your wife gives one more push, he'll arrive. So my wife went, yeah! Baby went, I put the TV to mute. And I leapt across the front room. And I caught him. And I was the first person to make contact with our son. He was a little boy out, and he was there in my hands, all warm and new. And it's one of the most overwhelming things you will ever do. And I tell you now, I was in pieces. I was in floods of tears. My wife was crying. The midwife was crying. And your mind just becomes a mush. I mean, to this day, I can't explain why I did what I did next. It was so emotional. Maybe it's because I'm Welsh, I don't know. But I went... Well, thank God we hadn't cut the cord. He shot back. It was Junior Bungee. He ended up lying on the floor with all this umbilical cord snaking around the room back to his mother, yards of it. I thought, what the hell do we do now? I needn't have worried. Calm as a cucumber, the midwife walked over to my wife. She put her left foot on my wife's right foot and pressed hard. And just like a Hoover, the cord went... And that's why we called him Henry.
Posting naked or almost naked pictures online to show how confident we are. And in all the comments, other women will be like, you are so brave. Well, I really just think that means not a model. Also, it's not brave. There's no soldier looking down at that picture being like, oh, what a brave lady. You know, a man posts a naked picture, he just loses custody of his kids. And if showing your weird body's brave, then the guy that masturbated in front of me on the subway is very brave. Because Because he had a real weird body. And he was making weird faces. He might be the bravest man I know. But that's the thing, we're supposed to care so much about our bodies as women, you know? And there's even campaigns that we should love our bodies and be confident in our bodies. Or we could just stop caring about it. Because you know who doesn't care about their bodies? Men. You know what men are? Successful. Men are presidents, men are CEOs. You've never heard a CEO go, I want to get profits up and keep costs down and love me for me. 3 p.m. we're gonna have a meeting about how I can accept the fact that I have my mother's thighs. You know who should care about their bodies? Men. You have weird bodies, men, you're gross. Your balls are gross. I've never seen a guy be like, oh, I can't wait to get his pants off and see that weird bag of stuff between his legs. What is it? It's like when you go to a haunted house and you stick your hand in a jar, you're like, please be grapes. Balls seem like a real god whoopsie. It's like when you're putting together furniture and you got a couple leftover screws and you're like, well, those were supposed to go somewhere. I guess I'll hang them from a satchel. Even the name sounds like a mistake. What are you gonna call him? Scrotum. Okay. This is how you knew God didn't care about balls at all. Everything else important he covered in bone. Balls, he was like, let them fly. You are so lucky we get our faces near them. If a woman puts your balls in her mouth, you should pay her a lot of money. And not in like a prostitute way, in like a, I don't know how else to say thank you. This is a very nice thing you just did to me. And you didn't get any pleasure out of it. There's not a single woman that's like, that's what does it for me. You were more of a saint than Mother Teresa for that. There's no way she ever did it. Over. I had to put paint on my face just to leave my home. And you guys get to walk around those wrinkly, dangly bags of crap. You should have to put makeup on them. Or at the very least, googly eyes. I don't know if it'd be better or worse, it'd be fun. He's happy, he's sad. He lost his boner. You guys get away with calling our boobs saggy. Your balls are saggy. You should wear a bra. And you make it fancy. All those women clapping, they meant yours.
I grew up in Dudley, in the West Midlands. Yeah, a lot of people grow up there because that's the only thing there is to do. What are you doing? Growing. In the 50s, my parents emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Yeah, Nancy, I'm gonna say that again just for you. They emigrated from Jamaica to Dudley. Why? What was my dad thinking? Bloody blue sky all the time. I want hail and sleet and snow. All this joyous reggae music. Where can a man get some Des O'Connor? We need pack your bags, we're going to Dudley. They made me go to church every Sunday. The Pentecostal Church of God in Prophecy. See, that's a black name. White churches are always called things like St. Thomas's. We're all outside going, St. Thomas's what? St. Thomas's Epiphany of the Shining Light of God in Christ in West Bromwich? Now, that's a name. You arrived late for church. Sorry I'm late, I was reading the signs. It's as good as Stephen King. I went to Blue Coat Secondary Modern School in Dudley. A lot of bullying there. I mean, you know, back in the day, it was different as well. You get punched in the face, you keep it to yourself. Nowadays, you go straight to the head teacher. Peter Wilkins has been punching me every day since the start of term. I'm not going to teach him anymore. I got a daughter, 17. She's got a pet name for me. Taxi. Yeah, because the only time I see her is in the car, and even then she gets in the back. I'm like, how was school? She's like, you're not one of those cabbies who's going to talk all the time, are you? Her childhood's different from mine. I mean, you know, when I was a kid, it felt like everybody in Dudley had permission to beat me. It wasn't just my mum. You know, I'd be mucking about in the street, suddenly, bam! Mrs. Fearon from number 14 slapped me around the face. Then she'd drag me to my house and tell my mum, Mrs. Henry, I saw Len misbehaving in the street, so I beat him for you. Do you know what my mother said to this woman? Thank you very much. I have 6 other children, help yourself anytime. We made a documentary in Dudley about my mum last year. My brother Paul said this on camera, no word of a lie. Lynn, when mum used to beat you, we used to think it was really funny. Bastards! Where's the solidarity in that? I'm getting my arse tore up, they're eating popcorn, they've pulled up chairs. Oh, it's not as funny as last week. Mum, work the ribs now, work the ribs. Mum, Ali Shuffle, remember? Ali, Boombaye. Mum, like Popeye, remember? Febida, 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 febida. When Mum used to beat me, she always said the same thing. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. What parents are insane? I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own good. All the white people, what kind of parenting is that? Lamar's like, yeah, me too. Oh, man. You know what I'd like to see on television? Jamaican Super Nanny. Beat him if it's been bad, beat him if it's been good. Beat him to show how much you love him. Beat him till your arms hurt so much. You have to beat him for making your arms hurt so much. She wouldn't mess about, would she? All right, no. This is what I call the naughty cheer. What's that for? You pick it up and you beat him with it. I'm not doing this for me, it's for your own rotting good.
I grew up loving trains, right? But there's one thing about the trains, other than the fact that I want them to run on time, that I really need them to change, right? And it's this announcement that goes, see it, say it, sorted. Have you heard this? Now, for those that haven't, see it, say it, sorted is an announcement on trains, which basically means if you see something suspicious, call the British Transport Police. But we all know what they really mean by suspicious. If you see a brown bloke with a rucksack, give us a fucking call. Now, I've never liked See It, Say It, Sorted, because for a start, it just raises fear and suspicion constantly. Second, it doesn't get to the heart of the issue, what they really want us to do, which is racial profiling. And third and most importantly, See It, Say It, Sorted doesn't bloody rhyme. Now, this upset me. I said, right, I've got to come up with some alternative options to reflect the reality of the situation and make it a bit more linguistically appealing, right? So I've come up with 2 options to replace See It, Say It, Sorted. By way of cheer, you can tell me which one you prefer, okay? So option number 1 to replace See It, Say It, Sorted. Seen a muso? If so, let us know. Average? Okay. Option number 2. Don't be wacky, reporter. Hey! You little racist pieces of... Gotcha! I'm in my late 30s at the moment, and a lot of my friends are already kind of parents of toddlers. Do we have any parents of toddlers in at the moment? Give me a cheer. Yeah, you are the worst human beings on the planet. I hate each and every single one of you, right? Because parents of toddlers nowadays, my God, they feel the need to show that they love their child when they're in public. Like, get on a train, you'll 100% see this. They'll be like, Oscar, we're on a train. Did you bring your bag with you today, darling? I know there are lots of people on the train, aren't there? What's that? You want to press the button even though they're waiting? Don't worry about them. I'll read you a story first, yeah, Oscar? I love you, Oscar. I love you, Oscar. I really love you, Oscar. Fuck off. Understand and assume that you love your child. I don't need to see this performance parenting. Now, I don't have any children. I've got a little nephew. When I get my nephew along, I think to myself, I don't want to miss out on the opportunity to be a complete dick in public. So I get my nephew, I sit him down, I say, "Hello, Ali. We are on a train. Did you bring your rucksack with you today?" I know, there are lots of people on the train. What's that? You want to press a button, do you? All the parents shut the hell up. And there's a woman in the corner going, "See it, say it, sort it."
I've got the memory of an elephant. I remember one time I went to the zoo and saw an elephant. I was disappointed to find that Dunkirk wasn't actually a biography of William Shatner. I accidentally kicked my dog early and it bit me on the bollocks. My mate said it's karma. I said, no, if anything, it's even more angry. I tell you what always catches my eye, short people with umbrellas. I put on a lot of weight, so I rang up Weight Watchers. I said, it's an emergency, can you send somebody round? And they said, yes, we can, we got loads of them. I was actually thrown out of Weight Watchers for making sarcastic comments at the weekly weigh-in. As you can imagine, I accepted the decision with huge grace, because they threw her out as well. I was watching TV, the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. I was in a fancy lingerie shop. I said, are these knickers satin? He said, no, they're new. I didn't know what to get my little niece for Christmas, so I asked my sister what she's into. Apparently at the moment she's mad about frozen stuff, so I got her some oven chips and peas. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. I went on a positive thinking course. It was shit. You would be. And it was half empty. The area in a Nando's between the front and back door is called a peri-perineum. What I like most about that joke is that people who know what a perineum is usually haven't heard of Nando's. Ironically, there's only a very small overlap between the two. The doctor told me to lose some weight. I said, how? He said, don't eat anything fatty. I said, what, pies, chips, that sort of thing? He said, no, just don't eat anything fatty. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. So we shall grow into it.
Oi, this is nice, isn't it? Yes! Is anyone here in their 40s? Is it? You're not in your 40s? Have you guys started walking like this yet? It happens like clockwork, you know? It's mad. Like, I'll be walking around the co-op like I'm in an art gallery, just... Reduced by how much? Not enough. and I've got a boner for linen. Ooh. Innit? I literally go out shopping for fabric and I'm like, give me a fabric that will crease really easily. Yes. I want to iron it for at least an hour. That's for me. That and candles. Woo! Now listen, I used to party hard. And I found that burning your money via candles is a great replacement. When I say I like candles, yeah, I'm going diptyque, baby. Thank you. I'm going Joe Malone. Fig for me. Which also, like, I'm from a council estate. What does fig really smell like? Does anyone? I'm just going on what Joe Malone told me, you know what I mean? These candles are expensive. I reckon for a £5, I could probably buy 50 figs, chuck it in the oven and just waft it around the house a few times. The dream is, yeah, I want enough money that I can light a Joe Malone candle when it's just me in the house. Come with me, people. Can you imagine coming home to your yard, it's just you in, and you're like, you know what? Fig for me. As it is, if you was over my house and I had a candle on the go, no lie, after about 20 minutes, I'll start thinking that's about £17 worth of scent now. What kind of friend is he anyway? Is that enough? I realise there's nothing more insulting than someone lighting your scented candles when you're not there to enjoy the scent. Innit? I had my brother house sitting for me, right? I was away for a couple of weeks. I walked back into the house. As soon as I opened up the door, I was like... I walked into the front room. This guy is reclining on my sofa, lighting his spliff with my Joe Malone candle. The ash was falling into the wax. I was like, you all right? Yeah, you good? Now, we know as British people, when our voices go high like that, we mean the opposite, right? The higher our voices go, the less we're about it. You know what I mean? If someone's like, you coming to a party? You're like, yeah! What that means is, I'm not coming to your party, mate. So I said, you all right? What are you doing? He's like, oh, it's just a bit of mood lighting, innit? So, IKEA tea light is mood lighting. That's not even it. It was a 3-wick candle. Only 1 wick was lit. Thank you.
I don't have a kid. I have a wife. That's a start, I suppose. I'm a very happily married man. I'm a man in love, actually. How many men here in love? A few of you. By the way, those of you who are here, any men who are here with women and you didn't react when I asked if you were in love, you have a very frosty journey home ahead of you. That's all I can tell you. That was a good show tonight, wasn't it? Did you not enjoy it? Well, I enjoyed it, but I was listening. You didn't seem to be listening. I was laughing. Well, the Irish guy asked you a direct question. Love is a funny thing. Being in love and falling in love are obviously two quite different things, aren't they? They both have their own merits. They both have their pros and their cons. Falling in love, for instance, is very exciting. I'll give you that. You never know what's going to happen next. Every time you see her, your heart beats faster. You touch her, you tingle, you can't get her out of your head. Falling in love, very exciting. And being in love is fine. So they both have their own merits, is what I'm trying to say there. You try and do things to keep the romance going, and if you're a bloke, that's your job. And if you're a woman, your job is to tell us if we're doing our job correctly. We try and do things to keep the romance going, but every now and again, ladies, you might do things that'll suck the romance back out again. Like ask us questions. Stop doing that. I don't mean questions like, where you been till now, who are you texting, what are you doing on the net at this hour? They're fair enough. I mean questions like, what are you thinking? Piss off with that question. What are you thinking? What is your obsession with what we're thinking? Can that be the one thing that remains exclusively mine? We share everything. The house, the bills, the friends. Can the content... No, I want that too. Come on. Why can't you women show us men the same courtesy and consideration we show you and not give a shit about what we're thinking? Why can't you do that? Because do you want to know the honest answer to that question? As soon as you say to your man, what are you thinking? Do you want to know what he's thinking? He's thinking, shit, better think of something to say, I've been thinking. That's what he's now thinking. Whatever he had been thinking before you asked that question, no matter how reasonable or innocent the thought was, it has gone now. Scuttled off into the corner of his brain in a panic to make way for all the little men that are now running around his head going, what are we thinking? She's asking! Quick, give me something to make it good. Somebody, you, what do you have? What do you have? She won't believe that in a million years. Come on, lads! You! That's not even a real place, for Christ's sake! What do you have? That's your sister. What are you trying to do to us? And the reason we panic is because we know the truth won't do. The truth, 95% of the time, is the word nothing. That won't do at all, will it? What are you thinking about? Nothing. You can't be thinking nothing. You have to be thinking something. Everyone has to be thinking something. Ladies, you should never underestimate a man's ability to be completely and utterly vacant. Seriously.